What's up, y'all? It's Knowledge. Welcome to Brews and Reviews, and today I'm reviewing Joey Badass's The Light Pack, and I am sipping on a Lagunitas Pils. That is a 6% Pilsner style coming from California, and this is a good beer. Let's get into this project. Joey Badass. This is his first solo project in 3 years, and he hits us with 3 new tracks. And this is a little bit short at 8 minutes to be called an EP or really even a project. It's more of a teaser for something that may be upcoming from him in longer form. But it is still a solo effort, and to that end, it follows up his sophomore album, the stellar All-Amerikan Bada, and also the group project that he did last year with members of Pro Era, Flatbush Zombies, and the Underachievers. That was called Escape from New York, and that one was very disappointing. I have gotten some heat in the past for saying that's disappointing, but there's always stands out there that will listen to everything and defend everything that their number one artist does. If you really think about that project and Joey maybe isn't your god MC necessarily, then think about that project and see if you can even think about one memorable verse that Joey dropped on that. His work in 2019 aside, Joey has been on a tear this year, dropping some great guest appearances on Westside Gunn's 327 and Code of the Friends BQE. Both of those tracks, in my opinion, are the best tracks on those particular albums. So that's saying something about Joey and where he's coming from and that he's ready to come back and spit this fire. The first track is The Light. And I can tell from the very beginning, from the dark, grimy piano loop, that this is going to be good and take us back to his 1999 style. The beat was produced by frequent collaborator Statik Selektah. They've worked on a lot of songs together in the past, and it's always a good combination. This one does not disappoint. As the boom bap drums kick in, Joey seems to admit that this is a comeback, and he drops an explanation for his absence. He says, "I admit it, I was gone for a little minute. It's like I lost my glow, yo, my inner light was dimming. Now I got my mojo back, y'all don't know how to act. I'm about to black out, I never back out." Thanks for the explanation, Joey. And he's going all out lyrically on this track. Right after a nice beat change up, he says, "This is mumble rap extermination. This is godly interpolation. This is that who your top 5 conversation. Type of rap that fuck a Grammy nomination." Now, Joey's taken a little bit of heat for these lines, and that's okay because I think he understood what he was getting into. He's throwing shots at mumble rap for one, and I think he's okay with that, and he stands behind it still. But let's examine more what he's saying in these lines other than just that. He's putting it all in perspective. He's saying that he's not going for the most popular project, but he's going for the artistic integrity of being in your top 5. And by the way, I agree. Fuck the Grammys. They only pick the most popular shit that's out there and not truly the most artistic hip-hop songs that come out. We get a much shorter second verse than the first, but it still has jewels embedded in just a few bars. I particularly like the line where he says, "I'm like Mahatma Gandhi mixed with Muhammad Ali, trapped in a rapper's body." And I love this line because he compares himself to 2 activists, 2 revolutionaries who had completely different styles. Muhammad Ali, of course, got famous for being a boxer, for fighting, and Gandhi became famous for not fighting, for his nonviolence approach to activism. So I think that's a great juxtaposition between these two that Joey's comparing himself to, and say they're rolled up in his rap style. The Light is my favorite track on the project, and it's just a shame that it's so short. I wish it were a little bit longer. I wish they carried out those grimy pianos and the beat change-ups and a little more good lyrics from Joey on this, because these are the best lyrics that we hear from him on this project. No Explanation is the next track, and there was some hype around this one because it features Pusha T. Everybody was excited to hear Joey and Push's first collaboration, and this one also is produced by Swizz Beats and Sean C and LV, and they have a pretty good beat that comes on this. The piano chords that are playing over it are a little bit reminiscent of Wu-Tang's Method Man, METHOD Man, the song, not the lyricist. So the chords kind of sound like that, but a little bit slowed down. I'm not sure if it's the same sample or if it just reminds me of it. Joey kicks an adequate flow on this, although I'm not a big fan of the way that he's raising his pitch and tone at the end of each line. I know that he's doing this for emphasis and to keep his flows varied, and I think that's okay to do at times, but to me, it's a little bit annoying, although it's not too distracting. He's still on point lyrically though, and that's really what matters. After kicking some braggadocious lines, he gets a little more serious, and he says, "But I got things on my mind that's much bigger, like being the voice of this voiceless generation, and fill the void, I can't avoid this temptation." Joey Badass, bringing a voice to the voiceless. But all jokes aside, that's cool because this is a man with a very large platform saying that he's going to use that platform for good and to project the voices of those that can't be heard. Pusha follows suit, and for his verse also has braggadocious lines. He does have a very interesting way of describing his bling on some lines in particular, where he says, 4.5 carats of tumor at Nick Bendy like Slick Rick the ruler. This is a nice reference to one of the greats and his look, and everybody that remembers Slick Rick, this put an image in your head immediately of what Push is talking about. On the third verse, Joey does a 180 on his flow, and maybe he was just setting us up in the first verse for this, because I think that this style is really effective. And this may be the best flow on the entire project. Instead of lifting his pitch at the end of each line, he instead slows down the end of each line and even slurs his words just a bit. And I think that's a great way to vary the flows up and really emphasize the particular words that he wants to stick out in this verse. Shine is the next track, also produced by Statik Selektah, and everybody who loves hip hop will immediately recognize the sample. It's a very widely used sample in hip hop, and that's Roy Ayers. Everybody loves the sunshine. Most notably, this has been used in Common Sense's song, The Book of Life. Common Sense, as he was known at the time, of course. And it's hard to take a widely used sample like this and make it your own. But if anybody can do it, Selektah can do it. And I think it's almost there. He chops it up well, but it still reminds me of these other songs with the instrumental alone. However, when Joey comes on, he does make it his own, not kicking the same style of verse from anybody that we've heard flow over this sample in the past. He brings more braggadocious rhymes in this one, and he reminds people on the chorus how to say his name. He says, "When you say my name, don't forget the $sign." I see a lot of people on social media and so forth forgetting those $signs and spelling his name wrong. And hey, some of us have to do it because when you put shit like that in your name, it messes up algorithms. But I'll still put the $signs in my title, even though it might mess up the algorithm, just for you, Joey, since you pointed this out. He has other lines on this talking about all the money that he's made, but he also puts that in perspective. He says, "I done made 10 million spitting verses and still ain't lose sight of my purpose. Still shedding light beneath the surface, constant elevation. Give them revelations they don't teach them in church." Overall, this is a decent project to whet the appetite for a longer project that we're expecting this year from Joey. To me, it's too short to be anything significant, but it does serve its purpose to that end. The first track, The Light, will go down in my personal playlist of Joey Badass songs, but not the other two, although there's still enough to hold us over. With this being so short, I can't go with my 12-pack rating. I'm going to have to do a 6-pack rating, and to that effect, I'm going to go ahead and rate this a 3 out of a 6-pack, but I'm still excited for the album. Thank you for watching my review of Joey Badass's The Light. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and hit like below. You can also subscribe to my channel. The link's popping up right now, and there's some other videos of recent reviews that I've done. I drop hip-hop and hops related content consistently, so until I see you next time, keep buzzing.